Whether you call it Liberty Day, Bull and Bread Day, or by its formal name, D. Hamilton Jackson Day, November 1st in the USVI is a day to contemplate the life and legacy of one of the territory's founding fathers. At the D. Hamilton Jackson Day ceremony in Grove Place, St. Croix, several territorial leaders gathered to pay tribute to Jackson, variously described as a true Renaissance man and even Black Moses, for his courageous challenge of the autocracy of the colonial Danish government and his successful organization of the USVI's first union, the St. Croix Labor Union, that allowed working-class Black people to enjoy organized rights such as health benefits, wage increases, and shorter working hours by lobbying for the enactment of labor laws beneficial to poor workers. Jackson was also a champion of free speech and press freedom, fighting to end the practice of media censorship by the government of the day. And at the age of 31, Jackson became the first editor of the Herald, which began circulation on November 1st, 1915.
The Herald also represented the importance of everyone's right to be informed in a way that is not censored by government, in a way that is not fake news, misinformation. The truth. As stated in its first edition, D. Hamilton Jackson set out to preserve, quote, he said, preserve the public from the outrages, see justice administered with equality, hinder tyranny, and promote a culture of cohesion with people bonded in love and union. D. Hamilton Jackson knew that the economic, political, and social advancement of Virgin Islanders required a strong activist stance against injustice.
Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett noted that there was still much work to be done, highlighting the territory's fight with the federal courts to achieve equity of life and equity in treatment among all Americans. Plaskett argued that the recent decision by the U.S. Supreme Court not to revisit the insular cases continues to deny Virgin Islanders, quote, certain constitutional rights that impede the territory's economic development.
More recently, I think of our battles, our current battle against the U.S. Supreme Court in the insular cases, which deny us and have continued to deny us since the early 1900s, certain constitutional rights. These cases, people, say that we Virgin Islanders, people who live in Puerto Rico and Guam, are savages. That is the words in this Supreme Court opinion, that we are savage, alien races who cannot understand Anglo-Saxon principles of law. That's what the Supreme Court recently upheld. We must fight against that. We know that it is a Virgin Islander, Alexander Hamilton, who wrote the Constitution that all laws are based upon. How dare they say that we cannot understand their principles of law when we are the ones who gave them their laws.
Apart from his work as a journalist and union leader, Jackson's Renaissance man status is evident in his additional roles as educator, judge, and legislator who worked hard to change the circumstances of a once enslaved people. Jackson's profound legacy resulted in the creation of a public holiday in his honor, with Virgin Islanders gathering at Grove Place every November 1st to pay tribute to the man and his immense contributions.
These days, we feel that there isn't enough time or hours in the day to get all we have to get done. But as I reflect on his life's work, I cannot help but to think about where we are as Virgin Islanders today, and how important it is for us to have leadership qualities like Jackson. And we need to ensure that we have more individuals in our communities who are passionate and who are willing to fight and become involved in the betterment of this United States Virgin Islands. Not just during the election time, but all the time.
The day is also traditionally used for political rallies and campaigning, a practice Lieutenant Governor Tregenza Roach spoke fondly of as he and Governor Albert Bryan Jr. paid homage to Jackson.
What it really says is that people here are interested enough to support someone or interested enough to put themselves forward as a candidate, that they want to do something that they believe may be for the betterment of the Virgin Islands. There are others in the community who won't even come out and vote. In our primary, 20% of the Democrats came out to vote, and maybe 60% of the people eligible to vote will come out in the general election. And so I personally want to commend you for taking part in political activity, because that is the way we move forward.
We didn't come here in Grove by ourselves. We stand on the backs of so many people that have worked to make us the proud people we are today. A lot of people don't come to these holidays and stuff. You know, the stuff that we fought for and people bled for and died for, we take it for granted. We don't go to school. We don't take the opportunity to vote. We have so much to be grateful for in this time and space. And we have to be grateful to our ancestors, people that made something out of nothing for us.
In his keynote address, author Jaron A. Richards also encouraged residents to band together to solve pressing issues within society.
My words today are to provide hope. I think David would smile for the freedom we now have, but I also think he would urge us to work for greater changes, greater advancements, whether it be technologically, economically, socially, or politically. As David would say, do my people, do. So with those words said, let us exploit our natural resources for the purpose and benefit of our people. Let us put an end to gun violence and hold strong in unity, much needed in our society. Let us love our children, the future of these islands, and provide them with all they need to succeed. Finally, and most importantly, let us remember that Jackson fought with his whole heart for the elements we now freely possess. Do, my people, do, my people, do.